Hello, welcome to this week's episode of FF Uncensored. We are at number 9 for 2025.
9 for 2025, almost a 10. Today, we are talking about pre-workout.
We are.
Do you pre-workout? Don't you pre-workout? Why would you pre-workout? What are some alternatives to pre-workout? So
What is the superior pre-workout? I think we should call it that too.
The burning question, do you pre-workout?
Do I pre-workout? Not typically. Do you pre-workout?
Not intentionally, if that makes sense. And I'll explain why.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think I know exactly what I'm talking about. And we are talking about pre-workout, not like a pre-workout meal or snack or something like that. We are talking about like the supplement that people would call pre-workout. It usually comes in powder form. You put it in a container, you shake it up with water, or you're a psychopath and you dry scoop it and put it in your mouth.
I've never done that, like ever.
Part of me feels like you should, just like so you can be like, I'm cool and I've been down with what happens on the internet, but it's totally gross.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just weird. This stuff is just weird. So
while we say that we don't use them, I mean, I have plenty of clients that do. I'm sure you do as well. Let's talk into why. Let's go into like why someone would take pre-workout.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what's typically in a pre-workout, right? So the vast majority of pre-workouts typically just contain a metric ton of caffeine. Like most of the time, they're just like a lot of caffeine.
Yep, they are usually pretty caffeine heavy. And then apparently the door to the gym isn't locked either. So we have caffeine in them. There are going to be other supplements. So sometimes you're going to see amino acids in them as well. L-glutamine, L-theanine, lots of L's and that kind of stuff. You sometimes see those in there as well. They have a whole list of ideas of why like some brands will be like, we put this in it for this or this. But what I have seen is that the numbers are usually not typically high enough to promote those kind of results.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times there's just a lot of marketing hype, right? And so it'll be I mean, the main constituent is typically caffeine. That's where you're getting like the quote unquote energy from.
Yep.
Right. Then you might have something like a beta alanine
which is going to make you tingly and sparkle.
Which it's not necessarily clear if that's really a big thing.
But
right. It makes you really tingly. Like a lot of people with their pre-workout get kind of like tingly and they like kind of like all of that. And so that's where like some of the
just say beta alanine. No, if you just like the tingle.
Sure. And then sometimes they'll contain like creatine as well. Sometimes will be in them. But there is an interesting.
It's usually never monohydrate creatine, and usually it's never 5 milligrams of creatine.
Yeah, it's usually just like a bunch of fairy dust, to be honest. But here's the interesting. I saw something from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, the Found My Fitness person. She was interviewing some expert, and they were talking about creatine in conjunction with large doses of caffeine actually decreases your ability to uptake the creatine. And so, but it's big doses. It's like more than 200 milligrams, but which is not all that uncommon for a pre-workout to contain 250, you know? And just for context, like a cup of coffee is probably between like 80 and 120, depending on like the roast and like all of that stuff. So pre-workouts are a lot. Like it's a lot of caffeine.
We missed a part of pre-workout. So a lot of them have like, these would be considered pump pre-workouts. They're going to have stuff that vasodilate so you can get the blood flow through. So it will help enhance your pump. So like you get like all these quotation marks here.
It's like it's a nitric oxide. I don't know what the word is, contributor maybe. So that we increase vasodilation, increase blood flow, which
Did
should
you ask
do all the things.
That or Google?
No, I'm just looking at some other like pre-workouts.
Oh,
I was pulling up the just ingredients one because that one's not like crazy. But in theirs they put citrulline malate, beta alanine, a BCAA blend, which I don't know why they do a BCAA blend.
To make it taste better, probably.
I don't know. Caffeine, taurine, ginseng, and maca root.
which is a mood stabilizer. So I actually do have a lot of clients, like I carry that one in the gym. And I do have clients that use that one. And for someone that likes to take a pre-workout, I always want my clients to have a cleaner option with ingredients that I actually can support and get behind. So it is why I carry the just ingredients one versus some of the other ones. I also don't think it has a ridiculous amount of caffeine in it, which I think most people are already overstimulated and taking a bunch of caffeine. So it's not one that I recommend, or not recommend taking like a pre-workout with like 200 or more milligrams of caffeine in it.
Yeah, so this one has 150, which isn't crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about pre-workouts. We talked about what they do. All right.
So so let's just talk about like why don't you take a pre-workout?
So I am a little more caffeine sensitive than the majority of the people in the world. So I can only intake so much caffeine during a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to pick coffee 10 times out of 10. Um, Coffee is like my go-to for a caffeine source. Personally, I like the way it tastes. I enjoy it. I like the routine of it. I'm going to pick coffee. But here is kind of the magical thing. Coffee in research studies is considered one of the best pre-workouts that you can actually take. I happen to drink my coffee and then do my workout. So am I doing a pre-workout? Technically, no, like not a supplemental one, but I am taking the caffeine from my coffee and then I am doing my workout right after it. So I'm technically using it as a stimulant prior to my workout.
So I'm in the same boat as you. And what I was just looking at right now, I was looking at First Form. They have a pre-workout. First Form is pretty well-known supplement company. They have 300 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous in there.
And I just want to let you know that there's never a time that I would have 3 cups of coffee because I would be like this. No one would understand anything that comes out of my mouth. If I have 2 cups of coffee, half the people at the gym don't understand me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and it's not just like you sipped those 3 cups of coffee over the course of a couple hours. It's like,
and had food involved. Pre-workout is usually like you're drinking it immediately, and remember, it's liquid form. Like anything, you're going to absorb it much faster.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. So I'm on a similar boat where it's just like coffee. Like I don't really need, like, I'm kind of past the stage where I need to get all like jacked up for a workout. Like I just drink coffee in the morning, and some mornings I work out. Sometimes I work out in the afternoon, evening. I get plenty of sleep for the most part on most nights. And so like, I don't feel like I am just dragging all the time and I need something to really pick me up. And so I know, I mean, we have a number of people that train in the morning that do some pre-workout because they don't really do coffee, or they don't enjoy coffee, or they don't do that kind of stuff, which is great.
So I am going to say, though, in the world of people that are taking a lot of stimulants and using a lot of coffee and pre-workout, if you are using that much caffeine to mask how tired you are, there are other factors in your life that you probably should be assessing and addressing, right, so you feel better. So I use pre-workout sometimes, not probably most of the time. Sometimes I might do it if I'm doing an afternoon workout or maybe even an evening one. But if you're someone that constantly needs a stimulant to start your day, to do your workout, to do all of those things, there's some hidden factors at play there that could definitely be addressed. So if you're someone that's like caffeining and drinking a bunch of Monsters or other caffeinated beverages to keep your energy up, you're probably missing some huge lifestyle factors that could help you just have more energy overall and not need as much caffeine to do it. There's also like a healthy dose of caffeine. And I know in my life, there's plenty of people that are overdosing on caffeine and not thinking of it as a drug that should probably be regulated.
I mean, it is a drug. Like literally, like, I mean, it fits the definition.
I just said it is a drug that needs to be regulated.
Right. I don't know about regulated. That's a little like, I don't want to have to like show my, I don't want to have to show my ID to go to the coffee shop to like, this is only my second cup. I promise. And I cut you off. You're not getting any more. You're not getting any more coffee in this house. Go somewhere else.
Self-regulating your own caffeine intake for your health.
Yes.
The ideal.
Yes, this is true. And so I just looked it up. I wanted to see like what the numbers were. And so
400 or 500 milligrams a day, right?
The healthy amount of caffeine depends on your blah, 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 blah. Depends on things. You get it. 400 milligrams per day is considered quote unquote safe. So, right. let's say you're doing a pre-workout that has 300 milligrams in it and you're having a couple cups of coffee like in the morning, like you're crushing through that pretty easy. um so and the,
And if you're someone that constantly needs a stimulant and you're not sleeping well, it's usually a very, very big circle that you're going round and round and round in. So, Trevor.
the thing that's scarier, so continue and then
No,
I'm gonna
I was going to say, what else do you have? I feel like we should do last thoughts.
well, the thing that's scarier here when we just talk about a caffeine standpoint, right? And so like for kids and teens, the limit is much lower. It's about 100 milligrams per day. And then we see these like teenagers walking around with these massive monsters that have 200, 300, 400 milligrams of caffeine in them. Um,
I don't
that's
even think about that. I think of them who like the monsters have less, like they're the lower end of the caffeine spectrum. But like I think of the kids, the high school kids that are carrying around a Bang,
that's the one
BANG. It's an
I was
energy
gonna.
drink, and I want to say I think those have almost four. I think they for sure have over 300 milligrams of caffeine in them. Those are the ones that I get a little more concerned about. Like I know that like I can't drink one of those. Like I feel like I'm gonna
Well,
explode.
here a 16-ounce can of Bang Energy contains 300 milligrams of caffeine. Um, yeah, 300 milligrams, and that's just I don't know. I just chat GPT'd it, but um, yeah, I mean it's really interesting. So, last thoughts. Like, are you getting stimulants in other areas of your life? Right? Like, are you drinking a lot of coffee and you work out maybe in the afternoon, evening? You should probably really like assess whether or not you need a pre-workout because again, if you're taking a pre-workout at 5 p.m., is that then inhibiting your ability to sleep and then you sleep in late or you don't get as much sleep at night? There may be other lifestyle factors that you want to think about, right? If you are working out in the morning and you need kind of a pick-me-up, I think a pre-workout can be a great thing if coffee isn't your jam, right? But I think it's just ultimately paying attention to like overall consumption. Like what is your consumption? How many cups of coffee realistically are you having, right? And then like am I getting close to this like 400 milligram, like I don't 400, it might even be a little bit of a stretch, but that's a fair amount of caffeine, right? And so like what does your overall intake look like, and just assessing it and being like, hey, is this a problem or not? Does this need to be regulated? Personally, show
Okay,
your
so
ID.
I'm going to go. There's a lot of health metrics that you can look at in your life. If you are looking to improve your energy levels and your sleep and some of those things, and you are a heavy caffeine user or using pre workouts and that kind of stuff, those would be one of the places that I would evaluate your well being and your wellness. So if you want to improve some of those other factors, caffeine and some of that would be one of my big things to look at. So depending on how you're looking at your health or your well being or how you want your workouts to go, might want to mitigate some of that. Also, if you are taking a pre-workout that has a lot of caffeine in it and you aren't burning through that during your workout, like energy level wise, you're not lifting enough weight, you're not pushing hard enough, that could be a thing. But it also could be why you're crushing these workouts and you feel like crap afterwards because you're going so hard to burn through some of that pre-workout. So it might actually be affecting how you're performing in your workouts without you really realizing and how you recover afterwards. So think about it, think about what your goals are, and then is it something you need to assess and address, or is it something that you feel good with and you're going to keep doing it?
Mm-hmm.
All personal preference.
And we all metabolize caffeine a little bit differently. It's very much a genetic factor. So that's why some people can like load up on caffeine and it has no issue because they just burn through it real quick. And other people, they have one cup of coffee and they're bouncing off the walls. And so I think knowing how your body reacts to it too, it can help you titrate correctly about how much you need in order to get what you want out of it. So I think I was looking up one more brand too because we carry another brand called Push. And I wanted to see how many milligrams. Yeah, in this one in Push it was 115 milligrams. So just know that there's lots of options out there too for pre-workouts, and like probably a lot of the mainstream stuff, the stuff you're seeing at GNC, the stuff that's marketed really heavy, is going to have a ton of caffeine in it. So just flip the label over, check it out. They have to show that stuff on the supplement facts, so you can um, easily see what's in it, and probably opt for a little bit lower of one, especially if you are doing some caffeine in some other areas. So that's all I got.
Awesome. If you guys have questions, let us know. Until next time.
See ya.